Hey everybody, welcome back to more Azure Plays Pokemon HeartGold, where last time we defeated Jasmine and made our way over the Safari Zone because Balba said that it's open and we might as well take a look-see. So, we're staying right outside the Safari Zone. Let's just head right on in. Hi, I've been waiting for you. What do you think? This is a brand new Safari Zone. By the way, I just had an idea. Would you like to take the owner aptitude test? The oat? Sure! Right on, let me explain how the test works. It's very easy. All you have to do is catch one Geodude at the Safari and show it to me. There in the grass closest to the entrance. It shouldn't take long before you catch one. Good luck. All right. As your first time here at the Safari Zone? Sure, why not? At the Safari Zone, you can enjoy a Safari game where you're given 3 Safari Balls to try to catch Pokemon. When you have run out of Safari Balls, the game is over. When you see a Pokemon, you can choose to throw bait or mud. If you throw bait, the Pokemon tend to stay, but they become more difficult to catch. If you throw mud, it'll become easier to catch, but the Pokemon may flee. There's like a math to this, but essentially just throw mud and bait and then throw the ball and eventually you'll catch something. Have fun at the Safari Zone. Sure, why not? I'm sorry, those can't be used yet. Warden Balba has a great plan for this machine. Or so he says, but even we don't know what it is. It's a secret. So we can't actually choose what this thing is because it's still under development. And what's going on over here? I can't read the sign. Okay, cool. This is the reception for Safari Zone Link. Or should I say, is going to be. We're still not ready. Please come back later. All right, so that entire area is completely pulling this to us. So let's head right in here. Welcome to the Safari Zone. For just 500 Poke, you can play the Safari game. You don't need to let me try to do it for free because I'm taking the oat. Okay, you can roam the wide open Safari Zone and catch whatever you like. Would you like to play? Sure, why not? I have more than enough money. That'll be 500 Poke, please. Here are your Safari Balls. We got 30 Safari Balls from the attendant. I'll call for you when you run out of Safari Balls. Well, I hope you enjoy it. Go and have fun. So there's no step counter. You pretty much just go right inside and you can just do whatever you please until you run out of Safari Balls or leave. So how the Safari Zone works in this is that it has default areas. In this case, we are at the peak. And the peak is where we need to be to actually find Geodude. The peak is always going to be the starting area when you're doing this oat test because they want you to pretty much find it right away. They don't need you to really meander off, go to the left or go up or even to the right. But if you do, you have a chance to catch other Pokemon. There's 10 different default layouts that the game will give you when you're taking the oat test, and they always have the peak at the starting spot. So in this case over here, we have the swamp on the left, and if I were to say head up from the starting position, it might be like the savannah or something. Or if I were to head right, it could be possibly the wasteland. There's different areas that you could possibly go to and catch different Pokemon. And later on, you'll be able to do even more with this system. But for now, let's just go and catch Geodude. And there is a Geodude, level 15, why not? So, how this works is that we don't throw our Pokemon out to catch it, we can just throw bait or mud. So, let's throw some bait. There we go, now it's eating and it's watching carefully. It's not really gonna be doing too much as we do this. So, pretty much just throw mud in order to make it easier to catch, throw bait so it has less chance of escaping. Just kind of have to play it by ear and then just throw a Pokeball and then kind of hope for the best. It's like, oh, it broke free and it's watching carefully. It's not really doing too much. So how about we just throw some mud at it? Rude, but if we throw more mud at it, we can make it easier to catch, but at the same time, we might have a chance of it just running away flat out because you have to like do a balancing game in order to see if you can catch it or not by throwing bait and then mud. It's a little bit of a weird mathematic thing, but just kind of play around with it and then throw a ball and just hope you catch it. And there we go, I caught it. Basically, the easiest way to explain how this math works is whenever you throw bait, you lower the escape rate by the Pokemon, but you have a 90% chance of lowering the catch rate. Whenever you throw mud, you raise the catch rate, but you basically have 90% chance of raising the escape rate as well. It works the same way how you would raise stats or lower stats of a Pokemon. Like say if you use a move that lowers defense or raises defense, it caps out at 6. It's like a weird mathematical equation that it does, where basically at the end of the turn, it just picks a random number between like 0 and 255. And if it's less than that stat stage that it determines, depending on what Pokemon it is, it'll either flee or stay on the field. That's pretty much all it is. It's weird. Either way, with that weird explanation out of the way, we're pretty much done with the oat test already. So what we can do is we can actually just continue catch things if we want, or hit the retire button on the bottom screen. That pretty much replaces one of our options. Or we can just leave through the front door. Either way, we get out of this place and then we could just continue forward. So Safari Balls left. Yes, we can leave at any time. We don't have to worry about step count or anything like that. We're just good to go. Certainly. Please return any Safari Balls you may have remaining. Did you have fun? Please come again. And I need to show you the Geodude. Yeah, I need to. Yeah, I need to go to the Pokemon Center because it's not actually in my party. All right, here's the Geodude. Oh, wonderful! You caught a Geodude. You passed the first test. The first test. Huh? Did I tell you that there are 2 tests? That's right. Becoming owner is not that easy. The second test is, well, I'm still preparing for it. I'll let you know once it's ready. You just need to wait a little. I'll call you with the Pokegear. Yes, he will call us when it's ready. So, I really have nothing better to do, so I will see you in, 3 hours.
1 hour later.
How long has it been?
2 hours later.
Bum 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 bum.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
Oh, hi, Azure. This is Warden and Balba. Sorry to have kept you waiting. I finally come up with the next test. I'll give you more details of the Safari Zone. See you there. Thankfully, the game doesn't let you actually skip that call, because if it did, then you wouldn't ever know the Safari Zone updated unless you decided to come back here for any reason. Which is nice, because now we can actually take the second part of the O test. But I think you're wondering, did I actually sit here for 3 hours? Yes. Yes, I did. Although during the first hour, I did leave and I got a bagel. 2 bagels. I was hungry. Either way, we're here now. I've been waiting for you. The test is ready. This time you can catch a Sandshrew and show it to me? That's weirdly written. Sounds easy, right? Not really. Sandshrew would not appear with the current Safari Zone setting. That's where this comes in handy. This sophisticated, high-tech machine lets you customize Safari Zone areas. I call it the Area Customizer. You want to know how it works, don't you? It's a secret. What? Right? Okay. Well, you shouldn't have trouble operating. Just talk to the staff next to me. They're not next to you, but okay. I almost forgot. I was in the middle of explaining the second test, wasn't I? You will not see Sandshrew with the current Safari Zone areas, so you have to use the Area Customizer to change them. Sandshrew live in the desert. Good luck. All right, so all we really need to do is just head over to the Area Customizer, and we get to see a bunch of different areas. A lot of the areas that we can actually see normally. Peak is always going to be the starting area right over here, but all we really need to do is just kind of grab this and just switch it over with the one that is called Desert. So we got Meadow, Savannah, Wetland, Rocky Beach, Peak. And then if we go to the next page, we have Forest, Swamp, Marshland, Wasteland, Mountain, and Desert. So we just kind of pop that right on in, and then just bam. Safari Zone areas have been swapped. Yeah, some person is just gonna like grab the areas and just kind of roll them out, and we have a new area to look at. So all we need to do is just go right back inside the Safari Zone, yet again. Pay another 500, not a big deal. And go right back inside. And as you can tell, the area is different. Immediately, we have a desert. So all we really need to do is just find the Sandshrew that is going to be roaming in the desert. And as I search for this thing, why don't I show you all the Pokemon that you can actually find in the Safari Zone as of now. Starting with the Peak, you can actually get a Wobbuffet here, as well as a Magmar. So if you want a fire type, that's another fire type you could potentially get. There's not a lot in this generation, so there you go, there's another one. But moving on, we have the desert. The desert is actually where we need to find our Sandshrew, but everything here is pretty much just all Generation 1 Pokemon, so if you're looking for Generation 2, you can go ahead and skip this one. Next one is the plains, where we can also find a Girafarig, but we have more chances to catch an Abra here. It's 30% chance, so that's actually good. As well as the Smeargle, which Smeargle only really appeared in one other area so far, so it's actually kind of nice to be able to get it here too. The meadow is where our first deviation lies, and you can finally surf and fish in the meadow. The nice thing about the meadow is you can find Marils here pretty easily, as well as Poliwhirl if you want to just skip Poliwag entirely, so those are pretty nice ones there. You can also get Sunkern here as well if you want. The forest, the only reason you'll probably come here for is if you want to get a Haunter at night, but you also have a chance of getting Mr. Mime and Mischievous.
So Mischievous is actually a pretty good one to find here. It's pretty easy to get too. So if you want to get that, that's another one for your Pokédex. The swamp is another location where we can surf and fish as well. The swamp has some pretty decent Pokemon such as the Drowsy line, as well as Murkrow if we want to get that, which fill up your Pokédex, you definitely want to get that here as well. The biggest thing you probably want to get here is during fishing. If you have a Super Rod, you can get a Dratini rather easily here. The Marshlands, also another one we can surf and fish. The Marshlands pretty much home to all the poison types. So if you want to get Ekans or Coughing, pretty much go Team Rocket about it, you can get those here. Grimer is actually one that you haven't really been able to find up to this point, really, so that's actually a good one here. But if you have a Super Rod, you have a chance to get a Gyarados rather easily. The mountain's actually a pretty nice one during the morning and the daytime because you're able to get a Lickitung and a Larvitar around here. Larvitar is a really good powerhouse for this generation, so if you want to get it, it takes a lot of effort to make it into that powerhouse territory, but it is worth it. Same with Lickitung, he's pretty much the Generation 1 version of Larvitar. The Rocky Beach doesn't really have anything too special that you haven't been able to find before, but if you surf, there is a Lapras you can get, as well as a Kingler and a Seeking if you use a Super Rod, so you do have options there if you have Rocky Beach, but otherwise, you can pretty much skip this one. The Wasteland has a decent selection, but the only one you really want to be on the lookout for is during the morning and the daytime with Kangaskhan. Pretty much past that, the Wasteland's kind of a waste. The Savannah's kind of with their choices. You have the Nidoran line, as well as Rhyhorn and Tauros, but other than that, if you want those two, it's pretty decent, but not really too much to get here. And the final area, the Wetland. The Wetland you could also surf and fish in, but honestly, there isn't really anything too special to go for in this area. Maybe a Ditto, everything else you're able to find, but past that, yeah, there isn't really anything too special about this one. And that's all the Pokemon we can find in the Safari Zone as of now. There's not really too many Pokemon I didn't already have, but I caught as much as I could for now. Either way, let's go and turn into this Sandshrew. You did it! You caught a Sandshrew. I knew you could do it. You passed the test. You're now the Safari Zone owner. Excuse me? Hello? I always wanted to see young people playing at the Safari. I thought I might get a few ideas. That should help complete your Pokédex. That's what I've been thinking. By the way, though you are now a Safari Zone owner, would you kindly continue to pay admission? We have our reasons. Don't be upset. I'll keep thinking about how I can create fun new ways to help you complete your Pokédex. Go have fun at the Safari Zone. Well, that's it. We completed the oat, so I guess we are now Safari Zone owners. I still don't really exactly know how that works. I guess he's evading taxes or something? I don't know. Either way, we caught a bunch of new Pokemon, which I'm gonna mark off at the end of the episode. But there's one thing I want to know. How exactly does the Safari Zone change? There has to be a way that the locations keep changing over and over and over again. But we have these two construction people right over here that might shed some light on the situation. So how about we go talk to them? Let's see, what do you two have to say? You may be under the impression there is a sophisticated system to customizing the Safari Zone, right? Real truth is that, yeah? I'm so exhausted. This job uses so much of your energy. So it sounds like they sit there and push all the man-made stuff in order to make the Safari Zone just change constantly. But yes, now that we pretty much did as much as I would like to do with the Safari Zone, what we can do now is we're gonna go to our Pokegear, and next time on Azure Plays more Pokemon HeartGold, we're going to head, hello there, hello. I forgot I could go look at him this way. All right, well, good to know. We're gonna head back to Ecruteak City, and we're gonna make our way towards Mahogany Town. See you all then.